What's going on YouTube? Today we'll be going over how to build Mona for dummies. This is my day one since day one. I absolutely love this girl, so I'm really excited to do this video. We'll be going over what weapons can you use, the artifacts, what constellations are good, talents, and of course I'll have gameplay going on so you can see her in different team comps. Above all, let me know how you are running your Mona and what character you want to see next on our Building Character for Dummies series. So here we go. Let's go ahead and dive into it without further ado. Mona, her best weapon in slot is going to be the Lost Prayer weapon. It gives her the base attack that she needs and of course the crit rate. This weapon is really good for Mona. It is just very, very helpful. Of course, when getting that split to look right can be so hard. Next up, if you do have her split looking good, you can go with Skyward Atlas. Skyward Atlas is awesome. This weapon gives an insane amount of attack, and this weapon is just ridiculous with how much it just increases the attack on your character. Now, when we're talking about her 4-star weapons, let's go ahead and talk about her most popular one. It is going to be the Witch Sith. I call it the Las Vegas weapon. This weapon is going to give you a random bonus for basically 10 seconds, and that's going to be whether it increases your attack, increases your elemental damage, or increases your elemental mastery. This weapon is normally used for Monas who are the damage dealer when they want to nuke. So this weapon is pretty much her best in slot when it comes to just 4 stars. A lot of people are going to tell you to use this weapon, myself included, if I'm being honest. Next up, you can use the Oathsworn. This weapon is really good and it increases the energy recharge by 48%, and we'll talk about that down the line. Another weapon that you can use is going to be the Solar Pearl, a classic battle pass weapon if you have it. And Dodoko tells, if you are like me, right? If you are like me and you are doing a charge attack build, feel free to use this. Wine and Song is not really up there, but it is a fun weapon to use because it gives attack and energy recharge on Mona is not bad. Now, for my people out there who are trying to learn how to nuke, whether it is Mona who is going to be dealing the million damage for you or your main DPS of your choice, Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers is an important weapon to all nuke team comps. All right, this weapon is good. I will have a video that will be attached to the end of this video that will go over how to nuke with Mona in your party, and we'll go over artifacts, rotations, what it looks like, and anything else that you may need to know. We'll go over how to set it up, all that good stuff. So watch until the end and check out that video too as well. So those are going to be the weapons that I'm going to recommend for you. Now, moving on to her artifacts, I am not a meta head, okay? I am not a meta head. I have meta sets and meta builds, however you want to call it. But for me, playing this game from day one, I try a bunch of different stuff out now at this point. So right now, I'm using a charge attack build. I'm rocking out with 4-piece Wanderer. When you are building Mona, before I start going down into what artifact sets rock out the best on her, when you are building Mona, you want to pay attention to the crit rate, the crit damage, the attack. Okay, attack is really good on her. Next up is going to be the energy recharge. Energy recharge as a substat is really, really going to be important, okay? And of course, elemental mastery is good, but you don't necessarily have to worry about it too much depending on your team comp or your play style, okay? But it is good to have as a substat if needed. So for me, Wanderers is going to be a good build if you are looking for something different. Rock out with the charge attack build that I'm doing right now. Hopefully you're seeing the video so you can see the damage that it can do. It increases charge attack damage by 35% if the character uses a catalyst or a bow. Next up, if you are one of those people who are just like, yeah, oh my god, Mona, I love Mona Lisa, and you just have her triple crown like me, feel free to use 4-piece heart for just like an overall build. That's really good, but I think Dreams is better than it now. Dreams is going to be really nice. You're going to get the elemental mastery, and then of course whenever you trigger an elemental reaction, you're going to get buffs, right? That can be your attack increasing by 14% for each party member whose elemental type is the same as the equipping character, And elemental mastery is increased by 50 for every party member with a different elemental type. All right, so you can always rock out with dreams. Now let's go ahead and talk about her recommended artifact sets. So Noblesse is going to increase all party members' attacks by 20% for 12 seconds. It does not stack, okay? This is more so on the support DPS side. So if that's your goal and that is your mission with your Mona, feel free to use this set. Now, when it comes down to if you're looking for a more burst DPS type of build with your Mona, go with 4-piece emblem. Energy recharge plus 20%. The increase in 4-piece set is going to increase elemental mastery burst damage by 25% of the energy recharge. A maximum of 75 bonus damage can be attained in this way. And fun fact, the minimum energy recharge that'll be like really cool for Mona, like you could start off with like your goal that you want to achieve at least 150. Okay, just make sure you at least start off like that. And then last but not least, tenacity. As you can see, 2 out of these 3 builds are support DPS builds in my opinion, with emblem being the only like burst DPS that's not really going off of like supporting, but you can kind of look at it as supporting because of her ult supporting other characters who you may be using on your team comp, but I look at it more so as a burst DPS type of build. Anyway, tenacity. When the elemental skill hits an opponent, the attack of all nearby party members is increased by 20%. And their shield, she doesn't provide that, so we'll ignore that. And it's for 3 seconds. Now her skill does hit a couple times throughout a duration, so this is a solid piece. Do I like it? No, I do not like this artifact set. If you do, more power to you, but I'm just not a fan of it. Now I'll go over my build so you can see what we're rocking out with. Here go the crown, the cup, yeah, here go the sands. Now the sands, I want to take a break here. If you want to run an energy recharge sands on your Mona, feel free. You can also run attack. It is really preference on what you are looking for with your Mona, and if you really need the energy recharge to get her burst back up, etc, etc. It all depends on your style, and I'll go over that why. I'll go over the why later down the road. Here we go. My feather, and then the flower. If you know me from TikTok, leave a comment, bro. If you know me from TikTok, let's get it. Here we go. Constellations. What constellations are going to be important to you? If you are just looking for the burst side of Mona, you don't really care about doing anything else with her, like literally you have her ult crowned and her skill and auto are level 1, then you are only going to be looking at C1 Mona. Mona C1 is really good. Hydro related elemental reactions are enhanced for 8 seconds when affected by her Omen. Her Omen is the ult. Electro charge, vaporize, and hydro swirl damage is increased by 15%. And then the characters, well, the enemies or whoever you attack will be frozen for 15 seconds longer. Okay, so if you got a freeze comp team going on with Mona, there you have it. Next up, what you will be caring about is going to be C4. When any party members attack an opponent affected by an Omen, their crit rate is increased by 15%. All right, so if you need the crit rate, there you have it right there. Her C2 and C6 are more so for people who are just playing overall Mona, pretty much, or a charge attack built like me. Yeah, that's going to be your bread and butter then. Now, when it comes to her talents, the only one I want to call out is of course going to be Destiny. Increases Mona's hydro damage bonus by a degree equivalent to 20% of her energy recharge rate. Waterborne Destiny is why I'm saying this passive talent is very good. This is why I said it's all up to you, because I know in some team comps you may only have Mona as your hydro character and you may not be able to battery really well, so you may need that energy recharge sands. It may just be preference for you at that point. So but if you can have energy recharge as a substat, you are going to deal more damage, which is why most people will still use the attack sands and just build the energy recharge with the substats so they can deal more damage. So Mona is really going to love the energy recharge. And of course, we already know how her ult work. You pop ult, and this is where that damage comes through. 940%. We're going to talk more about this when we do our nuke video. Okay, when we do that video that's at the end of this one, yeah, we're gonna dive into that. Okay, now let's go ahead and just say that is pretty much how you build Mona. I think that's pretty much it. We covered everything. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment below and let me know who you want to see next. And as always, much love and respect to you all. Peace.